You have reached number 8 of the top couch co-op and PlayStation 4 split screen and PlayStation 5 games. Just as a heads up, this list is now gaining momentum. If you've just stumbled across me because YouTube has been doing a brilliant job of bearing my content lately, it would be great if I could have you on board as a subscriber. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1 are going to be amazing. Comet Crash 2, The Cronkoid Wars is amazing. Okay, let's get a bit serious now. I have never seen this game on a single couch co-op local co-op list. I've never seen it on IGN. I've never heard of it really on the indie circuit or being pushed its content on any other couch co-op YouTube channel. It's crazy. It's like a secret sect. People who are into this. And get this, it's one of the best real-time RTSs available on console, full stop. Half the reason I own a PC is for RTS. Games, real-time strategy, that stands for, obviously, and for editing, and for amazing graphics. But the only other reason I have a PC is for stuff like StarCraft, really cool Warhammer material. Can the original subscriber who recommended this to me put a comment in on this? Because it's been years now, and I still go back to this game all the time. And if you hadn't have pointed this out to me, there's just no way I would have come across it via default. No way. Okay, I need to explain how this game is working, because what you're seeing is probably a little bit confusing to a lot of people who haven't gone anywhere near this or this type of game. And this also does boil down to technically being a tower defense game also. So have that thought in your brain with the game's structure. You can see that there's a color code system on these buildings. The blue buildings are mine, and I'm that little spaceship running around collecting these asteroids. And I'm dumping them in my harvesters to allow me to build barracks, bigger guns, more protection, and then I'm going to push all of my resources into attacking units, and I'm going to send them over to the other person's base, thus giving you a win. So this structure is bled out into the campaign. Now the campaign is co-op, and it's one of my favorite things about the entire game itself. Every single map has got a sort of submission, timed, and side quest, and you may even have a boss to deal with as well, or you may even have another AI player doing all the same stuff that you're trying to do. Now let's get to its meta, because there's still more to explain. You have a build menu, and you heard me mention about harvesters. It's your call to have as many harvesters as you want or where to put them, and there's an unlimited amount of asteroids that will drift onto the screen. The screen never moves. The asteroids come in from the exterior, and it's your job to grab them. You have a little R2 hook and take them over to your harvester. It also works with quite a lot of sort of low gravity physics, and you can send the asteroid over without having to actually chaperone the damn thing. So the front end of the game is this crazy rush to get as many asteroids on board as possible, because you're going to start building defenses, because the other player's going to start sending over little robots that are going to smash into your base. How on earth do you do all this with 2 sticks? That's one of the genius things, is that all your aggressive behaviors on one wheel on one side, and your build menus on a R button and on the other stick. So you have free analog control to run around. There is a certain amount of granular arcade action when you're both going for the same boulder and stealing each other's material, or even building nearer the other person's base. How does it work with your units then? You only ever control this spaceship, and when you're sending in enemies to attack the base, they only obey a particular route that cannot be blocked. They can always get to your base. It's your job to sort of concertina and cause a real headache to the other player's bots to get to your base by making the journey longer and more arduous by putting down big tower defense materials, even air to ground guns, and just causing as much annoyance to the opposition as possible. This would be done by sort of zigzagging building structures or putting a lot around your base, but remember, you have to allow that one tile to let the other person in to actually attack. So with all that in mind, we're going to look at some local co-op 3-player footage. Now I know I'm piling on a little bit here, but I need to make sure I pitch this game or sell it to you guys well, because it's the default for anybody who's a non-gamer who comes around. Everybody I've shown it to are like, I love this, I want to play this for hours, let's do the co-op campaign, let's have a go at versus and explore some high-end builds, let's not attack each other for the first 10 minutes, which never works out. But look at the craziness going on here. We each have a corner almost, and the color correspondence is on the base. As you can see, blue bottom left, you can see green top right, and that represents the same ship type. We're all running around trying to grab boulders, trying to put them in our harvesters, and some of us have set up ground-to-air guns, which actually fire upon the enemy ship, which means you can't be hovering over someone else's base stealing their asteroid. There's so many options for defenses, and if you look in the bottom left, you'll see that yellow has sent a crap ton of stuff over to blue, which I think is me, and they'll all pile in. You have a few amount of hits, but you take too many and it's over.
Joe Biden tried to walk it back.
Because of my extreme competitiveness and love for PvP, the campaign is something I always plug to avoid. But going in and looking at the content is absolutely amazing. It also acts as a tutorial, giving you certain levels and introducing different mechanics and building types or vehicle types and sort of teaching you how to use them. And incidentally, every single structure that you put down can actually be upgraded up to 3 tiers. Somebody who's like a Company of Heroes veteran or is like big on Age of Empires 3 will look at this simplicity and turn their nose up at it and just be like, no, I need more depth when it comes to a real-time strategy. Once you scratch past this initial front-end layer, the meta game is so deep. If you're good at this game, the decisions you have to make on the fly and the directions you have to go in very quickly are amazing. So it came out in 2017, and I've been Googling all afternoon and looking for some thread, something about the team and another game from them, and there's absolutely nothing. I cannot believe Comet Crash 3 has not been pumped out yet. They could get away with having exactly this system, but just with some upgraded, models and assets. I would be so up for that. Change nothing, just give it a lick of paint. This game has beaten some mammoths in my top 25. Remember, it's a ranked list, and a lot of you might be quite surprised at how passionate I am about the Croncoid Wars. I feel so lucky to know about it, and I cannot thank that person enough, and of course I will see you down there.